When I was drinking, though, it was fine. I had to stop drinking, though, because I got tired, like, waking up in my car driving 90.
I'm on the verge of dying because I'm a vicious alcoholic.
Give me a little bourbon, give me a little vodka. I miss booze. See, I don't miss the other stuff, but I miss not drinking. Then why did you stop drinking? Because the doctor said you're gonna die.
Ever wondered what really went on behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood? What if I told you that many of the biggest black stars battled alcohol addiction in secret, with their struggles hidden behind the flashing cameras and red carpets? From on-set scandals to careers derailed by their drinking, the truth behind these stars is wilder than you could imagine. In this video, we take a look at 25 of the most notorious Hollywood black stars who were drunk all the time. You won't believe the wild stories behind these legendary figures. Let's dive in. Number 1. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor, one of Hollywood's funniest and most iconic comedians, wasn't just known for his bold humor and raw honesty. He was also infamous for his serious struggles with alcohol and substance abuse. In fact, Pryor himself joked about it, saying, "These people drink, have a couple drinks, feel fine, social drinking. Yeah, me, I couldn't stop. Drink until the barn goes. We got no more liquor." His love for alcohol wasn't limited to just one type of drink. He would indulge in anything that would keep him numb from his inner battles. And for years, that's exactly what his drinking did. In 1980, Richard Pryor's addiction reached a shocking, tragic turning point. One fateful night, he poured high-proof rum on himself and set it on fire. Some claim it was an accident during an episode of freebasing cocaine, but either way, the result was catastrophic. Pryor was left severely burned, with second- and third-degree burns covering half of his body. In a surreal and horrific moment, he ran down Parthenia Street in Los Angeles, completely engulfed in flames, until the police intervened and rushed him to the hospital. He spent 6 long weeks recovering. But his struggle with addiction didn't end there. While he managed to keep his career thriving, his health continued to deteriorate over the years. In the final chapter of his life, Pryor faced a series of health battles, including multiple sclerosis, which he had been secretly battling for years. His condition worsened, and on December 10, 2005, Richard Pryor passed away at the age of 65. Number 2. Redd Foxx. Redd Foxx, known for his iconic role as Fred G. Sanford in Sanford and Son. Who could forget his classic line, "You don't know nothing about babies who Fred G. Sanford, the G stands for goo." While Foxx's comedic brilliance earned him a legendary spot in Hollywood, his off-screen life was marked by struggles that were anything but funny. Like many of his contemporaries, Foxx battled with addiction, alcohol being his biggest demon. "I've been drunk off that. I sat in the face bowl and threw up in the toilet," Foxx admitted. His alcohol consumption was no secret. He was notorious for his heavy drinking and, as if that wasn't enough, Foxx openly used drugs. It was well known in Hollywood circles that he wore a small spoon around his neck during script readings, not as a fashion statement, but as a means to take a hit, fueling his addiction. Unfortunately, the toll of Foxx's excessive drinking and drug use eventually caught up with him. Redd Foxx passed away on October 11, 1991, after suffering a heart attack while performing on stage. Number 3. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston, one of the most iconic voices in music history, captured the world's heart with hits like "I Will Always Love You." Her stunning voice and magnetic presence on stage made her a household name and earned her a spot as one of the best-selling music artists of all time. However, behind the dazzling performances and red carpets was a darker side to her story, a side shaped by addiction, personal struggles, and heartbreak. Houston's tumultuous marriage to singer Bobby Brown became the epicenter of her personal battles. Reports from the time revealed that the relationship was deeply troubled, marked by substance abuse on both sides. In a candid 2009 interview with Oprah Winfrey, Whitney opened up about her struggles, including her battle with alcohol. "The alcoholism, that's an ugly thing. Either you're going to be a really nice alcoholic or you're a really mean one," she admitted. Her battle with addiction didn't stop with alcohol. Drugs also played a heavy role in her downward spiral. Despite attending rehab multiple times, the pressures of fame, her tumultuous marriage, and the emotional trauma she endured made sobriety a constant struggle. Tragically, Whitney Houston's life was cut short, and in 2012, she passed away at the age of 48, a heart-wrenching loss for the music world and her fans. Number 4. David Ruffin. David Ruffin, the unmistakable voice behind some of the Temptations' biggest hits like My Girl, was undoubtedly one of Motown's brightest stars. However, despite his professional success, Ruffin's personal life was anything but smooth, and it became increasingly overshadowed by addiction and the pressures of fame. As his drug and alcohol habits worsened, Ruffin's behavior became more erratic. By 1967, his addiction was impacting his role in the Temptations. He was frequently absent from rehearsals and performances, and his growing isolation within the group was hard to ignore. It got to a point where he traveled separately with his girlfriend, the late Tammy Terrell, in a customized limo, further alienating himself from the other band members. But it wasn't just his absence that caused problems. It was also his demand for the spotlight. As Diana Ross and the Supremes gained prominence, Ruffin became increasingly frustrated. He pushed for the group to be renamed David Ruffin and the Temptations, believing that his talent deserved more recognition. This caused major friction, particularly with Otis Williams, the group's founder, and eventually led to Ruffin's departure from the band. Ruffin's addiction continued to plague him after he left the Temptations, and his downward spiral was painful to witness. Sadly, David Ruffin's story didn't have a happy ending. His struggles with addiction left him a broken man, and after years of battling his demons, he passed away in 1991 at the age of 50. Number 5. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, one of the most legendary boxers to ever step into the ring, was known not just for his raw power and lightning-fast punches, but for his tumultuous life outside of the sport. It was his battle with substance abuse that would become one of his most public and painful challenges. Tyson's turbulent childhood, marked by multiple arrests before he was even a teenager, laid the foundation for his later struggles. When he lost his mother at the age of 16, he found solace in boxing under the mentorship of Cus D'Amato, who guided him to the pinnacle of the sport. But after D'Amato's passing, Tyson's life began to spiral. His marriage to actress Robin Givens was filled with public turmoil, and soon his legal troubles started to pile up, including a prison sentence for a serious crime. All of these personal issues weighed heavily on Tyson, but it was his addiction to alcohol and drugs that seemed to consume him. "I'm on the verge of dying because I'm a vicious alcoholic," Tyson admitted, recognizing how his addiction had taken a devastating toll on his body and mind. His battle with alcohol was all-consuming, and there were times when he believed he had reached rock bottom, only to fall deeper. In one candid moment, Tyson shared, "I've been to everybody else and think I was sober, but I'm not. This is my 6th day. I'm never going to use again," acknowledging how difficult it was to break free from the grip of his addictions. Despite these challenges, Tyson managed to reinvent himself in a new arena, acting. He found success with roles in films like The Hangover, where his persona, both on-screen and off, captivated audiences. However, even as he garnered success as an actor, the shadows of his past continued to follow him. Number 6. Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr. was a true star, one of a kind. With his incredible singing, dancing, and acting skills, he was a core member of the legendary Rat Pack, captivating audiences with his immense talent and undeniable charm. But beneath all the glitz and glamour, Sammy faced his own personal struggles. His drinking became a growing problem, especially as his career took off and he became increasingly distant from his family. His marriage to Mae Britt began to strain under the pressure of his demanding schedule, and eventually Sammy admitted to having an affair, which only deepened his dependence on alcohol. As his drinking spiraled out of control, it started to take a serious toll on his health. Doctors warned him that his liver was in critical condition and that even one more drink could be fatal. Thankfully, Sammy took the warning seriously and made the decision to quit drinking, though he continued to smoke. Number 7. Flip Wilson. Flip Wilson was a huge star in the 70s, known for hosting the Flip Wilson Show and making millions laugh with his sharp wit and one-of-a-kind humor. He had a way with words, famously saying, "That's right, there's sin in Las Vegas, and I'm going to put a stop to it. If I can't stop it, at least I'm going to slow it down." But behind the laughs, Wilson was battling personal demons with drugs and alcohol. His struggles became public in 1981 when he was arrested at Los Angeles International Airport for possessing hashish oil. Officers searched his luggage and found the drugs, which led to charges against him. However, the California Supreme Court later ruled that the search had been illegal and the charges were dropped. This incident brought attention to the substance abuse issues that Wilson was grappling with, affecting his life beyond the spotlight. Number 8. Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday was an iconic jazz singer with a voice that captivated audiences and an emotional depth that made her music unforgettable. Born in 1915, she rose to prominence with unforgettable songs like Strange Fruit and God Bless the Child, solidifying her place in music history. However, her personal life was filled with struggles that took a toll on her career. In 1941, Billie married Jimmy Monroe, a small-time dealer, after a troubled affair. This relationship led her to experiment with opium, and by the mid-1940s, she had turned to heroin as a way to cope. What started as occasional use soon became a full-blown addiction, and she spent large amounts of money on drugs, often accompanied by her boyfriend, Joe Guy. In 1947, her manager, trying to protect Louis Armstrong from a scandal, helped authorities arrest Billie for drug possession, which made headlines across the country. After serving time in prison in 1948, she briefly regained control of her life and delivered 2 iconic performances at Carnegie Hall. But by January 1949, Billie was back in the spotlight for another drug-related arrest, a tragic reminder of the battles she faced off stage. Number 9. T.I., born Clifford Harris, is a well-known rapper and actor who rose to fame with hits like Live Your Life and Whatever You Like. Along with his music career, he's also appeared in movies and TV shows. But his path to success wasn't always smooth. After being released from prison in 2010, T.I. opened up about his struggles with drugs, admitting that he turned to them to cope with the tough times in his life. "I fell deep into it, and I was living crazy. I just allowed myself to be susceptible to that type of nonsense," he confessed. Fortunately, T.I. had a friend who helped him get back on track, rapper Eminem, who had faced his own battles with addiction. Eminem's guidance played a big role in T.I.'s decision to quit and get his life back in order. Sidney Poitier, a groundbreaking actor, director, and activist, is best known for his iconic roles in films like Lilies of the Field and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. As the first black actor to win an Academy Award for Best Actor, Poitier broke barriers and became an inspiration to generations of actors. But despite his success, Poitier faced his own challenges, particularly in his early years in America. In his 2000 autobiography, The Measure of a Man, he shared how he often felt isolated and out of place, which affected his mental health. Over time, Poitier learned to manage these struggles, focusing on discipline and self-care. He made significant lifestyle changes, giving up alcohol, red meat, milk, and sugar. He embraced a healthier way of living, making exercise and balance a priority. This commitment to wellness helped him stay grounded in an industry that often tested his limits. Number 10. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey is a renowned talk show host, producer, and philanthropist, known for her incredible journey from a challenging childhood to becoming one of the most influential women in the world. In 1995, Oprah opened up on her show during a deeply emotional episode, surprising viewers with a personal revelation. While speaking with mothers struggling with addiction, Oprah shared that she had smoked crack in her 20s. Her candidness in that moment was powerful, as she told the guests, "I did your drug," which allowed them to feel seen and understood. Oprah's honesty showed the strength it takes to face one's past and connect with others on a human level. It was a reminder that even those who appear to have it all go through tough times. To this day, Oprah continues to inspire people around the world, using her platform to spread messages of healing, hope, and the importance of self-empowerment. Number 11. Billie Dee Williams. Billie Dee Williams is a legendary actor and artist, known for his smooth voice and effortless charm. He became widely recognized for his iconic roles in classic films like Star Wars and Mahogany. Billie began his career on Broadway in 1960 before making his film debut in The Last Angry Man in the 1960s. Despite his growing success, he struggled with the limited opportunities for black actors, often feeling sidelined as many roles he desired were given to Sidney Poitier. This frustration led him to turn to a popular drug at the time, which he felt helped him better understand himself. He later described it as something that saved my life. However, Billie was careful to avoid other substances, holding strong beliefs about staying away from addiction and substance abuse throughout his career. Number 12. Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan was born on March 23, 1953, in Great Lakes, Illinois, and quickly became a music icon, known for her powerhouse voice in hits like Ain't Nobody and I'm Every Woman. She also made her mark on the big screen, appearing in films like The Blues Brothers and The One and Only Ivan. However, Chaka faced some personal struggles along the way. For about 10 years, she battled with alcohol and drug addiction, which took a toll on both her music career and her personal life. It wasn't until a heartfelt conversation with her friend Etta James that things started to shift. Etta encouraged Chaka to turn her life around, and after their talk, Chaka made the decision to quit drinking and using drugs, marking the beginning of a healthier, more focused chapter in her life. The emotional struggles we face with drugs or whatever it is, we can't handle them on our own. You need a place where you're not surrounded by the same things that led you down the wrong path. Since then, she has remained sober and uses her journey to inspire and support others. Number 13. Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson is now one of Hollywood's biggest stars, known for his unforgettable roles in movies like Pulp Fiction, The Avengers, and Django Unchained. But his rise to fame wasn't easy. In the 1970s, after moving to New York City with his future wife, LaTanya Richardson, Jackson struggled as an aspiring actor. He took on small roles in off-Broadway plays, but money was tight, and he fell into a dangerous cycle of heavy drinking and drug use. As his responsibilities grew, especially after the birth of his daughter, Zoe, the weight of making ends meet became overwhelming. By the early 1980s, his addiction was taking a major toll on his life, both at home and on his career. But eventually, Jackson found the strength to turn things around. The biggest worry I had about getting clean was, am I still going to be fun? I worried about that, but I realized I had more fun once I got clean. With the unwavering support of his family, Jackson overcame his struggles and went on to become the powerhouse actor we know today. Number 14, Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence is a talented actor and comedian known for his high-energy performances in both films and on television. He became a household name with his hit show Martin and iconic movies like Bad Boys and Big Mama's House. But his journey hasn't been without its challenges, especially when it comes to substance use. Lawrence has been open about his struggles with addiction, which led to some difficult moments in his life. One of the most talked-about incidents happened while filming his directorial debut, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. During production, Lawrence had a serious outburst on set that resulted in his hospitalization. This was just one of several times his behavior raised concerns. He also faced accusations of battery and making harsh remarks toward others while working on various films. Despite these challenges, Lawrence has since turned things around and continues to be a beloved figure in entertainment. Number 15. Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy was a talented comedian and actor best known for his unforgettable work on Chappelle's Show. He was also the brother of the legendary Eddie Murphy. Charlie had a rebellious side in his younger years, often finding himself in trouble. He was open about experimenting with drugs and getting into plenty of fights. One of his most intense moments came in high school when a confrontation with a classmate escalated and a gun was pointed at him. Things didn't improve much as he got older. He was involved in a robbery, which resulted in him receiving 3 years of probation. Unfortunately, during this time, Charlie faced even more challenges and was arrested for various other incidents. Despite these struggles, Charlie eventually turned his life around and became a beloved figure in comedy. Number 16. Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi, born Scott Mescudi, is a well-known rapper and actor famous for hits like Day and Night and Pursuit of Happiness. His music is deeply personal, often reflecting his struggles and emotions, which has resonated with fans all over the world. In 2010, Kid Cudi hit a rough patch and was arrested for drug possession. At the time, he was using drugs and alcohol to cope with stress and life's challenges. However, by 2011, he decided to turn things around and quit drugs for good. To mark this new chapter, he even got tattoos on his wrists as a symbol of leaving his past behind and embracing a fresh start. Number 17. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams, the outspoken talk show host, has never shied away from sharing the ups and downs of her life, including her battles with addiction. She once opened up about being a functioning addict, juggling her career while still partying all night. Her routine was grueling. She'd host her radio show in the afternoon, party until the early morning, get a few hours of sleep, and do it all over again the next day. While people around her could see what was happening, no one intervened. Wendy described it as if they were all watching her life unfold like a circus act, but no one said a word. Eventually, Wendy realized she needed a change. After hitting a tough spot in 2018, she checked into rehab to get her life back on track. After my sessions, I'd go home to a place in the tri-state area surrounded by a bunch of smelly boys who've become like family to me, she said. Today, Wendy uses her experiences to inspire others to confront their own struggles. Number 18. Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah is a celebrated actress, singer, and producer known for her powerful voice and inspiring performances. While her career has been filled with incredible achievements, she has also faced her share of challenges. After the heartbreaking loss of her brother in 1992, Queen Latifah turned to drugs and alcohol to numb her pain. It was a difficult period in her life, and in 2002, she was arrested for drug possession. That moment was a wake-up call for her, and it made her realize she needed to make a change. Determined to turn her life around, she sought help and focused on getting healthy. Since then, Queen Latifah has remained sober and has used her journey to inspire others dealing with similar struggles. Number 19. Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell is a legendary supermodel known for her stunning beauty and immense success in the fashion industry. Born in London, she worked with top designers and appeared in major magazines, becoming one of the most iconic models in the world. But Naomi's journey hasn't always been smooth. In 1994, she began struggling with drug use, and things became even harder after the tragic death of her close friend, designer Gianni Versace, in 1997. His passing deeply affected her, and she had a difficult time coping with the loss. Though she tried to quit drugs multiple times, starting in 1999, her battle was not easy. It wasn't until 2004 that Naomi was able to get sober for good. While alcohol never held much appeal for her, she knew that in order to overcome her drug addiction, she had to stop everything. Her recovery took a lot of strength and determination, and she has since reflected on the importance of making mistakes as part of the learning process, saying, "You have to make mistakes. That's how you learn." Number 20. Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan is a talented comedian and actor, best known for his work on Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock. His energetic personality and unique comedic style have earned him a lot of fans. However, Tracy has faced some serious health challenges along the way. In 1996, he was diagnosed with diabetes, and for years, he struggled with alcohol use, which only worsened his health issues. Tracy later opened up about how he used his own struggles as material in his comedy, often drawing from real-life experiences on shows like 30 Rock. In December 2010, Tracy underwent a kidney transplant due to complications from his diabetes and alcohol use. This life-changing experience made him realize the importance of taking his health seriously. Now Tracy is focused on living a healthier life while continuing to entertain his fans with his trademark humor. Number 21. Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith is a well-known actress, singer, and businesswoman, recognized for her roles in films like The Nutty Professor, The Matrix, and Gotham. She's also famous for her talk show Red Table Talk, where she shares personal stories with her family and fans. In one episode, Jada opened up about her past struggles with drugs and alcohol. She admitted, "I was a hard liquor drinker. I could drink almost anybody under the table." She shared that during the filming of The Nutty Professor, she once passed out on set after taking ecstasy. Jada explained that she had taken a bad batch of the drug and ended up fainting in the makeup trailer. At the time, she tried to cover it up by saying she had accidentally taken old medication, but looking back, she described the experience as eye-opening. Number 22. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman is a former basketball player known for his vibrant personality and distinctive style. He played for teams like the Chicago Bulls and won multiple championships during his career. Beyond basketball, Rodman also dabbled in professional wrestling and acting. He starred in action films like Double Team and Simon Says and appeared in several reality TV shows. However, his life wasn't all about sports and fame. Rodman struggled with alcohol during his career, and in 1999 he was arrested for being drunk in public following a bar fight. Though the charges were dropped, the incident highlighted that he was facing personal challenges. His troubles extended to his personal life as well, including a public dispute with his then-wife, Carmen Electra. Number 23. Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg, known for his laid-back demeanor and legendary rap career, is no stranger to a life of excess, especially when it comes to alcohol. While he's more famously associated with marijuana, his relationship with booze has also been a wild ride throughout his career. From the early 90s to the present day, Snoop's parties and public appearances often included a drink in his hand, whether it was Hennessy, gin, or even his signature gin and juice. In fact, the title of his 1994 debut album, Doggy Style, wasn't just about his persona. It was a reflection of the lifestyle that Snoop embraced, which included plenty of partying and drinking. He even released his own line of alcohol, a gin called Indoggo, which speaks to how much the beverage has been a part of his brand. Known for his carefree style, Snoop's love for alcohol was just another part of his larger-than-life persona. But his drinking habits have led to some moments of excess. There have been stories of Snoop turning up at parties, barely putting the bottle down, and even causing minor rifts when intoxicated. In the early stages of his career, sources close to him revealed that Snoop often indulged in heavy drinking while in the studio, which at times affected his focus and the overall vibe of his projects. However, Snoop has also opened up about his past struggles with alcohol. In interviews, he mentioned how he had to make a conscious decision to cut back on his drinking, recognizing the impact it had on his health and well-being. Snoop admitted that over time he had to learn to pace himself and even let go of some of his old habits as part of his personal growth and reinvention. Number 24. Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton, the iconic R&B singer with a voice that captivated millions, is no stranger to overcoming personal struggles, including a turbulent relationship with alcohol. At the height of her career in the 90s, as she dominated the music scene with hits like Unbreak My Heart and Breathe Again, Toni also faced some dark battles behind the scenes, chiefly with alcohol. In interviews, Toni has been open about how she relied on alcohol to cope with the pressures of her career and personal life. She admitted that at one point, she was drinking excessively, and it began to affect both her health and her relationships. Toni revealed that she would drink to relieve stress, sometimes turning to wine or cocktails, especially in moments of emotional vulnerability. Despite her undeniable success, Toni's personal life was filled with ups and downs, and her drinking habits became a part of that turbulent period. She struggled with the public scrutiny of her finances and family, including the financial troubles that almost led to bankruptcy in the late 90s. On top of that, her health was also at risk. Toni has battled autoimmune disease lupus, and drinking on top of her medical condition only exacerbated her challenges. At her lowest point, Toni recognized that her drinking was starting to take a serious toll on her health and career. She knew it was time for a change. Toni checked herself into rehab to address her addiction, and this marked the beginning of her journey toward sobriety. These days, Toni is focused on living a healthier life and has turned her past struggles into motivation for others facing similar battles. Number 25. Marion Suge Knight. Marion Suge Knight, the notorious former CEO of Death Row Records, became a larger-than-life figure in the music industry, both for his immense influence and his penchant for chaos. Known for his tough persona and ties to some of hip-hop's biggest names, Suge's life has been as turbulent as it has been legendary. While his contributions to the industry are undeniable, his personal life, particularly his struggles with alcohol, was far from glamorous. Throughout the 90s and early 2000s, Knight's life seemed to mirror the violent and wild world of rap's golden era. But behind the flashy parties and public feuds, there was a darker side: Suge's constant battle with alcohol. It's well documented that Suge's drinking habits were out of control, adding fuel to his already volatile reputation. Whether at clubs, during meetings, or even at home, alcohol became a regular companion to the mogul, further escalating his already aggressive demeanor. Knight's drinking wasn't just a part of his public image, it was reportedly a factor in many of the controversies surrounding him. Known for his ruthless business practices and run-ins with the law, alcohol seemed to amplify his fiery temper. There were many incidents where his drinking was seen as a contributing factor, including his altercations with rivals and even his own artists. His drinking was often paired with a sense of arrogance and an air of unpredictability, making him both feared and respected in the entertainment industry. However, this lifestyle took a significant toll on Knight's health and career. While he was building an empire with artists like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac Shakur, his own personal life was crumbling under the weight of his excessive drinking and the ensuing legal battles. In and out of jail, Suge's alcohol abuse worsened, further tarnishing his once promising career. His troubles with the law became a familiar narrative, and alcohol was often at the center of many of his incidents. Suge Knight's relationship with alcohol is a story of excess, both in his career and in his personal vices. While his rise in the music world was meteoric, his fall was equally as dramatic, marked by years of erratic behavior fueled by alcohol, which ultimately led to his current legal battles. It's clear that while fame and fortune may grant a sense of invincibility, they cannot protect from the personal demons that affect us all. What do you think? How much do you believe alcohol played a role in the downfall of these stars' careers? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this and the untold stories of those who navigated their own personal battles in the limelight. See you next time.